Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Chawanne Burns. Please click that like button and that subscribe button. In today's video, we are going to discuss the SBA Economic Injury Disaster Loan and the grant. Okay, over the weekend, the SBA has changed their website. And quite frankly, if you're not in one of these targeted areas and targeted industries, you might not be eligible for the grant. I think they might open something else up because it's kind of unclear why they only opened it up to these certain individuals. But we're going to walk through what SBA has on their website as of today. Today is January the 19th. Let's go to sba.gov/disaster. We're on the landing page of the disaster relief. And you see they have it on here. The EIDL advance no longer available. However, they do have this shuttered, if you look to the left of the screen, it's called the Shuttered Venue Grant, okay? So when you click on the Shuttered Venue Grant, it says emergency assistance for eligible venues affected by COVID pandemic. Program details. The Shuttered Venue Operators Grant program was established by the Economic Aid to Hard-Hit Small Businesses, Nonprofit Venues Act, signed into law on December the 27th, 2020. Now, this is the most recent legislation that was passed through Congress last December. The program includes $15 billion in grants to shuttered venues to be administered by the Small Business Administration Office of Disaster Assistance. Eligible applicants qualify that for the SVOG grant equals to 45% of their gross earned revenues, with the maximum amount available for the single award of grant $2 million. $2 billion is reserved for eligible applicants with up to 50 full-time employees. So who can apply? Live venue operators or promoters, theatrical producers, live performing arts organization operators, relevant music operators, zoo aquariums who meet specific criteria, motion picture theater operators, talent representative, each business entity owned by an eligible entity that also meet the eligible requirements. Okay, you must have been in operation as of February the 29th of 2020. Venue or promoter must not have received the PPP on or after December the 27th. So you can't apply for this loan or this grant and the PPP. Awards will be either for an eligible entity that was in operation on January 1st, 2019, the lesser amount equal to 45% of their gross revenue or earned revenue of $10 million. An eligible entity that began in operations on January 1st, 2019, the lesser of the average monthly gross revenues for each full month of you were in operation during 2019, multiplied by 6 or $10 million. Okay, so whichever is less. How to apply? The SBA process is setting up the grant program and is not yet accepting applications. Small businesses who suffered the greatest economic loss will be the first application process under the following schedule. Only open to small entities with 50 employees. Now, you guys, I don't know if you see it was only $15 million they said dedicated, or $15 billion dedicated to this fund. So I really don't know if this includes the advances because we're missing $5 billion. $20 billion is for people that already received an SBA or they already put in their SBA application prior to December the 27th of 2020. Because they're saying, okay, these people, the funding ran out and they already applied, okay? So that's not for these people. But I'm assuming that other $20 billion, and they're saying $15 billion is dedicated for this fund and it's targeted. I really, when they said shutter the venue grant, it seemed like they're just putting all the entertainers, entertainment type venues in this part. It's kind of unfortunate because are you really, I don't know. We're going to keep on reading. Okay, so the first priority, entities suffered 90% or greater revenue loss between April 2020 through December 2020 due to COVID-19 pandemic. First 14 days of grant awards. Second priority, the next 14 days is entities that suffered 70% or greater revenue loss between April 2020 through December 2020 due to the COVID-19 pandemic. And third priority is beginning 28 days after initiation of the first grant. And that's 25% greater lost revenues. Supplemental funding. Recipients of first and second priority rounds who suffered a 70% or greater revenue loss for most recent calendar quarter. Unrestricted, open to entities of any size. Non-priority, after the 61 days, eligible entities of any size that have suffered 25% or greater revenue loss. Isn't that kind of crazy how they're saying? So like the $10,000 grant or the advance, they're not using that for this. They're just using your revenues times 6. You know, so you could get more than $10,000. You could get $500,000, you know. And they put a note. They're saying the maximum grant award size is $10 million, you guys. And they put a note. $2 billion is reserved for eligible applicants with up to 50 full-time employees. So I really don't, they're kind of unclear. I mean, they got all these live venues or theatrical performance. But the last one, each business entity owned by an eligible entity that also meets the eligibility requirements. So you could be a subsidiary. If you're a live venue operator or promoter and you have subsidiary companies, you could apply for these. So it's saying detailed information on eligibility requirements coming soon. And at the very bottom, they're giving you examples. People that's eligible, they're giving you what you made in 2019 versus what you made in 2020. And they're looking at the same time period. So first priority, you have to have suffered 10% or 90% revenue loss. This one, you have to have suffered, what did they say, 75% revenue loss? 70% or greater revenue loss. And the third priority is 25% revenue loss, okay? And they're saying like if your total revenues 2019 versus 2020, you might be eligible for the last one. It is unfortunate that they don't have this I mean, you can't apply now. That's what it looks like, but they have the link available, like you're able to apply. I put in an application yesterday, and they had the link popped up. See, the application portal for the loan request only. If you're seeking to apply for the new targeted advanced grant, please visit this to learn more about your eligibility requirements and how to access the next round of EIDL advance funds. And another thing, it doesn't say you could not have received the EIDL loan. It doesn't say in that. It just said you could not have received the PPP after the date, December the 27th. So there you have it, folks. If you're a shuttered venue, mainly movie theaters, if you're into production companies, things of that nature, you are getting first priority of the grant, but you have to have either 90% revenue loss. So if you don't have 90% revenue loss between April the 1st of 2019 compared to April the 1st of 2020, you are not eligible for that first round of grants. As I get the news, you will get the news too. This is how the SBA interpret. I think when my last video I dropped, I said, hey, we can interpret the law the way we want to interpret, but legislation, and this with all legislation, it leaves room for interpretation, especially if they haven't put forth any action. It's a new law, so you interpret it the way they see fit. Okay, leave me your questions and comments down in the comment section, and I am sending all my good to you. I will talk to you soon.